All right. Good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. I'm your host, Brandon Choi, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. And thanks so much for joining us for yet another, episode of our exclusive interviews. And there'll be many more to come. But as you know, this week we do have San Diego Comic-Con happening this week. So much stuff going on. After a couple of years of a hiatus of having virtual shows, it is officially back in its in-person capacity. And aside from the interviews that I will have here, in this space virtually, there will be more in person as well. So be on the lookout for that, as well as some other cool things that are going on minute by minute. But with that out of the way, I'm sure you had a chance to check out the title that you have for this interview. And we have, a terrific guest, for you guys. They are the founder as well as the CEO of GAMACON. They're a friend to the show. I want to welcome back Hugo A. Castro. Let me bring him on now.
Hello,
Hugo,
hello.
what's on, man? How you doing?
Good, Brandon. Thanks for the invite again. It's been a long now.
Absolutely. Yes, it has been a minute,
Long
man.
time.
So, talk to me. I know we were talking briefly about it on off stage, but just as I was saying, it's been a couple of years of being back in the SDCC routine, so to speak. So, talk to me. How have things been in that time?
It's been good. I mean, it's been 2 long years of things moving slowly in so many aspects. Other aspects was very fast, but overall, thank God and the universe that my whole family is safe and sound. We all got our jobs and health and willing to get our life back, our physical life back, just getting in touch with people. It's been 2 years since we had this connection with people and events. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, just as it is with every Comic Con that I've that we've touched base on, and it'll be cool to finally I know things schedule wise always conflict on both of our ends of being able to connect. We are going to make it happen this year. I will make that priority, make that happen this year, man. But can you talk a little bit about, just as I was saying, of those various commitments that you have at the show, of what you do on the programming end in terms of being a part of various panels, and not only bringing discussing your show, GAMACON, which I want to get into, but I also want to talk about the panel that you have this year, which talks about, from what I understand, Mexico's pulp culture superheroes. So can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, the title is "Can Mexico's Pop Culture Superheroes Save the World?" So it's going to be a fun panel. It's not a serious panel. We're going to talk about the different Mexican pop culture heroes and superheroes like El Chapulín Colorado, Chavo del Ocho, El Pantera, Calimán, some Chabelo, some of the Mexican lucha libre fighters and wrestlers. So it's all about trying to talk about a fictional scenario where what will happen if all these heroes that we have throughout the decades in Mexico will unite today like an Avengers kind of group and try to save the world from the current world crisis. And what are those world crises? We're talking about global warming, war between countries, hunger, natural disasters, and all these different things. Some corruption without getting too much into political topics or any sensitive topics at all. So it's more about having fun. It's about a humorous view of our heroes and the current world crisis. What would they do with their superpower or their abilities or personalities? It's all about kind of a black, dark humor and sarcasm and satire of how these heroes will tackle the current world crisis. So it's not a serious topic. It's all about having fun. So I'm hoping we're going to have a lot of fun and laughs with the people.
Yes, we've had Black Panther in the last few years. We've had Shang-Chi recently, and then we also had Miss Marvel, of course.
Yeah.
Being able to shine a light on cultures and on heroes that we may not always, be placed in the forefront. So, in that regard, can you talk a bit about that and having, this panel that will allow for that?
Well, it feels great. I mean, ever since we started doing panels for Comic Con, my main objective has been to promote Mexico in different levels and bringing artists, actresses, uh, even lucha libre wrestlers this time, real famous lucha libre stars are going to
Indeed,
be in the
yeah.
panel. So it's been always about promoting Mexico's culture and art, and it feels great to have this opportunity to be in front of a lot of people. Hopefully, a full house we're gonna have this Saturday, and just talk about who our heroes are. We all know about Iron Man and the Avengers and Batman and Superman, all that. But what about our heroes? What about Chabelo, El Chavo del Ocho, Calimán, Shanok? All these heroes, they don't have the superpowers like the Avengers do in DC and all that, but they are our heroes. They're part of our culture. We grew up looking with seeing these guys. We grew up wanting to be these guys as well. We grew up with the luchadores like El Santo, Blue Demon, fighting monsters, mummies, mad scientists. So it feels great to be able to promote my country and have that opportunity to tell the world and whoever wants to see our panel, digital or live in the room with us, about who they are, what they have, what they can bring, and hopefully just to make a little bit spark in their hearts to go on their own and look and Google these heroes that we have, and hopefully making them feel the same we feel when we grew up watching these heroes. So it feels great. I love doing this for my country.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, just as I said at the top of the show of talking about, GAMACON as well, I want to get into that too. We were just talking about just, San Diego Comic-Con and the hiatus with that. And, it wasn't just San Diego Comic-Con, it was across the board with many shows. So, can you talk a bit of, now kind of getting back into the normal routine and continuing with that show?
It feels great in so many levels. I started in February. I had the opportunity to go to my first live event in 2 years, which was DICE in Vegas. It's about video game development and promoting that industry. And every single person that I will talk to, even old friends that I hadn't seen in like 2 or 3 years, were like, "Oh my God, this is great to be back, to be here with you, sharing a drink, sharing a talk, a meal, going to breakfast." It's just we are humans, and we need that connection. We need to be there in person, just stretching our hands, hugging each other. So for me, it started in February, and it felt great, and the whole vibe of the people, they were all happy that we're all together in that same room talking about things that we love, in that case video game development. So for me, coming back to Comic-Con after 2 years is great. I did not have the opportunity to go into the special edition last November, but coming to this one for me, it's like, oh my God, I'm back at Comic-Con. This is great to see all the people dressing up, all the people having fun. I mean, seeing old friends, I only see them at Comic-Con. It's been 2 years going to lunch with them, breakfast, brunch, grabbing a drink at the end of the day. That really feels great. I mean, I'm really excited to be there. I'm hopefully arriving on Friday because of work, but yeah, I can't wait to get there, to be there and just see my friends and see the people, the vibe, the energy, the happiness that Comic-Con brings to many of us, our hearts. It's like I remember saying, I think one of the actors that did Doctor Who, he said, if everyone had a little Comic-Con in their heart, the world will be a better place. So for me, coming back to Comic-Con, it just brings so much warmth to my heart and happiness.
Absolutely, man. And the talk further on that, I always find it fascinating, with anyone who runs a show of any capacity, whether they are the director of a festival, or they are the showrunner of a con, expo, what have you. It's people always enjoy, just as you're saying, what is provided to them on the outside, but they fail to appreciate what the effort is behind the curtain of trying to make that show possible for them. And so in speaking to those these past few years, it's been interesting to talk to showrunners and directors about how they have adapted from and the lessons learned of the last few years of still having a show in some capacity, and now finally being able to get it to some sense of normalcy. So for you, with GAMACON, were there some things that you have taken away, specifically in terms of maybe perhaps how you run it, or components of it that you implemented in those last few years, that even now that you will be able to quote unquote, be in a normal capacity as possible, that you're still going to transfer over, in years to come?
Well, it's I understand when I go to Comic Con or Star Wars Celebration or the E3. Well, that's not gonna happen this year, but or GDC. It's from a producer's point of view, you kind of see everything that goes behind the curtains, and that makes you see what is in front of you with a different view, with a different critical eye, in the right sense of being empathic of what they're going through. It's not easy to run a convention. It's not easy to do an expo, an event. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of effort, a lot of money to invest in it, and a lot of people put really their hearts in it. So every time I go to an expo, I try to be a very, very nice and responsible and respectful guest or attendant, because I know what it is to be on the other side of the table, trying to make the expo, trying to fix all problems, trying to make sure that everything runs smoothly for our guests, for our attendings, and it's not easy. It's a huge amount of work. It's a huge amount of stress, of tears, sweat, blood. I mean, it happens everything, and there you can see all kinds of issues and problems behind the curtains, and people don't see that. And I will invite to every guest and attendance that is going to Comic Con to be respectful, to follow policies, regulation, to follow the manual of being a good person, because for us that we do events, that help us be less stressful, the job of creating all of this for the people. So yeah, I see that in a different way. And again, I try to be very respectful and humble and supportive of the people out there. Sometimes there's so much going on behind curtains that we forget to be humble, and we forget to be nice, because we have so much stress that we're humans. Eventually we break. And I've been to an events that I come to a volunteer or a coordinator, and they look at me with hate, and I wait, I didn't do anything, but I've been on your side. I have been where you are, and I understand you, so it's okay. I'll just be on my way. I'll find another guy. And a lot of people will be like, oh, they were very bad persons. They didn't treat me well. They didn't treat me nice. We have to understand everything they're going through to make this happen. We need to be more humble and understanding and respectful of that. And again, me being on the have been on the other side of the table, I do get that. So again, I invite everyone that is seeing this to be respectful, to follow the policies and regulations, to be mindful of the face mask, the COVID certificate, and just be nice to us, trying to them, in this case Comic Con, trying to make the best event for us. And you're gonna have a way better time. And I'm pretty sure that person that most likely is having a bad day, you're gonna be the person that actually changed his heart at that precise moment, and now they're happy again, because they're like, oh my God, they're having fun, they're happy. This is what we are being stressed for, to make these guys happy. So yeah, that's my opinion on that.
No, that's awesome, man. And I feel like that's a great way to kind of cap it off. But one other thing that I always like to ask, if as going, just as you said, going as, a panelist, as a guest, what have you, you have those commitments, right, of what you're doing at the show. And it almost seemed like every single, minute, every single second is dedicated to something. So, how do you find that balance for yourself? Because I'm sure, perhaps there's some panels that you yourself as a fan, want to be able to attend. There's some stuff, exclusives, on the floor that you're like, oh, I gotta get this, and it's only available at this, in this block of time, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Trying to find that time or those blocks to be able to accomplish that.
Well, for Comic-Con it's easy for me. I mean, my only I have one panel only. So Saturday between 5 or 6, I couldn't go to any other panels or get any of the special edition items that I can get at Comic-Con. And everything else for me is just an open adventure. I can go everywhere. But I do have that constraint when I'm running my own show, GAMACON, which is in November, that I don't get to see anything at all. Sometimes I don't even get to take pictures with a special guest. I mean, I see them, I greet them, I take them to lunch, but in my mind, and at that precise moment, I am not a fan. I'm a producer. I'm
Right.
directing the operation of GAMACON, so I don't have time to be what we call in Mexico a groupie. It's like I don't have time to be a fan.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, oh my God, can I take a picture with you? I don't have time for that, or I don't have. My mind is set on.
Yeah, you don't have enough mental real estate to do that.
Exactly, to request a picture. I mean,
right.
And that is where I really need to find time to relax, to eat, to drink water, to drink an alcoholic beverage when I need one because of stress. And I do.
I hear you.
Here during the production of GAMACON. I'm almost at the end of the day. But during GAMACON, there's nothing I can do to enjoy the expo. I don't do it for me. I don't do it for me to enjoy it. I do it for everyone else to enjoy it. But during Comic-Con, I'm only going to have my panel. Again, everything else is an open adventure for me. It's an open world. I can go anywhere.
Awesome, man. Well, with that being said, as always, Hugo, it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for hopping on. Before I let you go, can you tell folks where they can find you?
Well, you can find me at our social media is gamacon.oficial. You have it on your screen. Please join us. We're going to have our panel on Saturday from 5 to 6 in room A. Please join us. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to be moderating the panel. We're having the Mexican Lucha Libre, the legend Psychosis with us. She's going to be there with us. We're going to have Luisa Gomez de Silva. She's a Mexican movie and TV series producer. She's been in Titanic, Fear the Walking Dead, Selena. And we're going to have Jesse Hernandez for the first time. I actually don't know Jesse Hernandez. I know Psychosis and Luisa very well. Jesse Hernandez, he's a Mexican-American artist, urban artist. He's known as the Urban Aztec, and he's doing a lot of Mexicanization of Marvel, of DC. He's been working with Gears of War and several other top brands that he, let's say you got Iron Man, but what if Iron Man was an Aztec? So the whole bodysuit is kind of like an Aztec bodysuit of Iron Man. So that's what he does. So he's going to be a great addition to the panel where he's going to bring his what if, with all these Mexican superheroes and what if they will do like a cross multiple universe with DC or Avengers or any other superheroes that are well known in the world. So please join us. We're going to have a lot of fun. We would like your support. And as you support us, we can keep doing more things for you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So once again, I want to thank Hugo here, as always, of all the awesome stuff that he does. And as he said, make sure you check out the panel there on Saturday. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there, and see you soon. See you this week.
See you soon.
Peace.